everyone, Miss Schlarman here, and today we're going to talk about value. And we're going to go from the whitest of white to the color. Now this one I've chosen to use blue. And right here, these are called acrylic paints. And this is like a poster paint. You do not add water to this kind of paint. You can also call it a gouache. So gouache, poster, acrylic, craft paint, you don't add water to. Okay, so that's this example over here. Now this one is using your Crayola watercolor kit. Now you can use either one if you have them at home, and if you're wanting to do more of like a watercolor, food coloring works great as a substitute for actual watercolors. I'm going to show you how these were created in fast motion. First step was to find something circular to trace that original circle or that moon shape that I'm working with. Remember to use watercolor with lots and lots of water. Your paper is going to be saturated, completely wet, but you have to wait until the next day and it will dry and it will be fine. Make sure you clean up all your messes when you're doing this. So you start with just a water and a little blue, then you next circle, you make more. Now, if you choose to do acrylic paint, you must wash your brush in between changing colors and you dry your brush. You do not add water to acrylic paints. Notice how I'm mixing in an old egg tray. Use a recyclable good. No reason to get dirty dishes. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm adding a little more blue to the white and I'm creating those value shifts. Once again, no matter where you're working, make sure you're aware of your surroundings and clean up your area. Here's the example of a watercolor value shift and acrylic value shift, or I like to think of the moon because our character theme is space this year. So we're looking out at the moon and thinking of all the possibilities that we have out in space. So when you get started with this, now let's think about finishing it. And here I'm using black construction paper to create a silhouette because as the moon is shining down, the shadows are created. So I have a silhouette of a tree and I'm going to cut out a cute little cat to put on the branch. Now, if you wanted to, you could use that over on the watercolor one, or you can do it with paint as well. So I'm going to put this one over here, and I'm going to talk to you about this. So watercolor, you have to use lots of water, lots and lots of water, and you have to wait for your paper to dry before you paint another layer on it if you're going to do this. Always wait till it's dry before you start moving on to the next. So with this, always have paper towels because you can make a mess. You want to be careful. And acrylic paint, tempera, poster, always dry your brush. You don't want the water in it. With the watercolor, you want lots and lots and lots of water to kind of get that going. So on this one, I think I'm going to use my black here, and I'm going to make a cityscape, okay? So I'm going to draw buildings. So this is my shadows or the buildings that are coming out of it. Now, a couple things to remember when you're painting is never go past the metal on the brush with the paint. It makes it too messy. And you want to also make sure that your area behind it, so watch this, I just painted onto my table. If you do that at your home table, your parents might get really upset. So please make sure if you are painting that you have something down behind it, or if you do have like a craft table like this, you are able to clean up your mess afterwards, okay? And then maybe I've got some towers. You ever see it like on the still life? They got the towers coming up on it too, like the satellites coming off of the building. And maybe some buildings have more of a peak to it. Maybe this is like a house in the middle of the city. That's a big looking house. But you know what? Maybe it's closer to you because in the dark, everything kind of like changes a little bit. It like sometimes it looks different than what it is. That's why sometimes I sleep with my light on. But I know it's all the same there. Okay, so I'm looking up there. Maybe I've got this. Maybe I've got a person like sitting on top of one of the buildings, stargazing, looking out over at the sky. So here I've got my my cityscape, and here I've got more of a countryscape. Make it your own. Come up with your own idea. What I'm looking for is you learning how to do value shifts from light to the darker side. Okay, so I've got this one is more of a cityscape using paint. This one's using construction paper, but they're both kind of have the same concept. You can use watercolor, or if you wanted to, you could draw this. You could use lighter shades, darker shades with your pencil coming through. All right, everyone, I can't wait to see all of your hard work. Bye.